everyone, and welcome back to the show. Today, we are continuing our Oliotopia campaign, episode 4 into the vampiric lair, made by Dungeons and Duds. We have kind of a big announcement. We have officially opened up our Discord channel, Dungeons and Duds. So if you want to be a part of that, we'll have that link to the video below. Absolutely, come in, have conversations with us. We have a lot of different things in there, so it's kind of cool. We're trying to get the word out. Also, if any of you would like to play with us, either reach out to us directly or leave a comment and we'll reach out to you. Other than that, though, believe that's it for the announcements. So let's jump in tonight's episode 4 into the vampiric lair.
Come, little children, I'll take thee away into a land of enchantment. Come, little children, the time's come to play here in my garden of shadows. Follow, sweet children, I'll show thee the way through all the pain and the sorrows. Weep not, poor children, for life is this way, murdering beauty and passions. Hush now, dear children, it must be this way, to weary of life and deceptions. Rest now, my children, for soon we'll away into the calm and the quiet. Children, I'll take thee away into a land of enchantment. Come, little children, the time's come to play here in my garden of shadows.
We woke up in the slums again. Ronan had a little bit of a panic attack. Took a walk. Instead of going and doing what they did the first time, which they thought was a dream or something like that, they went a little bit different. Went down, found out the guards were kind of throwing the interns into the sewers. Hazing initiation thing. Ronan attacked them and then convinced them that he would go down in place of the interns. Alphen stayed behind, snuck into the shadows and whatnot. He ended up getting Ronan out of the sewers. They went and had a drink, fell asleep, and then they woke back up in the slums again, where Ronan again had a little bit of a panic attack. Both agreed that they needed to go see the figure in the sewers again and talk to the figure in the sewers. They made their way back to the sewers. They met up with Billy. Billy showed them a kind of like off to the side, not really used entrance into the sewers. They went down into the sewers. They talked to the person in the sewers who we believe is the epitome or the like carnation of death, or not reincarnation, but the person of death. Ronan and Alphen agreed to take their destiny and to actually pick choice 1, and then they got teleported to currently where we are, which is DaggerRise.
As you're teleported to DaggerRise, two things immediately stand out to you. First off, it's nighttime. Secondly, all the buildings around you are Gothic in nature, and you see things like this.
Ooh, pretty.
And like
That's
this.
really, dude, that's
And
awesome.
like this. And you notice the people around you, majority of them are elves, but it's a mix of all races. Their skin is pale. A lot of them have red or golden eyes, some with dark brown eyes, but they all seem to ignore you, and there's not a whole lot of them.
So they're just ignoring 3 people who just popped out of thin air. Yep, okay, fair enough.
And all of these people are just going about their business, and as you're taking in the town and the sights of what you see, you get an uneasy feeling, and there's a thick mist that's kind of traveling through the town. Not like foreign in nature, it's a misty town.
Okay.
You're currently in the market district portion of DaggerRise. You have no knowledge of this city. You've never heard of this city. You've never even seen a map of this city. What would you guys like to do?
Well, I'd probably look to Alphen after we kind of like look around at everything and whatnot, and look at Alphen. And do I see Billy with us still, or like is Billy just nowhere to be seen? Like, did he already wander off, or is he still around?
He's still around you guys.
Okay. Then I'd probably look at both of them and just be like, huh, well, this is interesting, if I do say so. Alphen?
Yeah, it is very interesting. What should we do now?
Alright, well, the figure told us that, quote-unquote, our father is the chancellor, mayor, higher-up person here. I'm a little nervous around here, I'll be honest. These folk, they don't look... Folk just have a strange feeling to me.
I would like you both to roll a perception check.
Here we go. A 10.
Alright. You both notice that not necessarily what you're looking at, it's what you smell. There's a distinct smell of iron mixed with an almost form of sweetness, and it's just in the air here.
Would this trigger any kind of, like, knowledge in Ronin's mind? Or anything?
You can roll a history check.
Oh, let's see here. That's 14.
Everything around you and everything you're experiencing is foreign. You can't place it, and you've never experienced anything quite like this.
That smell in there, Alphen. That's I don't think I've ever quite smelled anything like that. That's an interesting amalgamations of smells.
It is very interesting.
Billy, have you ever been anywhere outside of... Where were we before this?
Crest?
Wolfcrest. Have you ever been anywhere outside of Wolfcrest?
I'm gonna be honest here, not really.
Fair enough. So you are a little freaked out then.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Fair. Well, I say we try to find the main house, the main castle, wherever our quote-unquote father might be. I'm going to see if I can ask him questions really quickly.
Okay.
So, Ronin's going to walk up to the first person he sees and just kind of like, excuse me, is it a lady, a gentleman, a person?
As is standard elven affair, you're not sure.
Fair enough. Well, I walk up to the first person I see then. Do they give me the time of day? Do they say hello? Like, what are we doing here?
As you approach, you hear them kind of muttering under their breath. Gotta get to the clock tower by 7. And they just keep repeating it over and over and over again. I've got to get to the clock tower by 7. I can't be late.
Are they like looking at me?
No, they're kind of spaced out looking at the ground.
So I kind of like wave a hand kind of like in front of their face or snap finger. I'm like, hello, excuse me, hello.
Doesn't even acknowledge your existence.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I look back to Ronin and Billy, or Alphen and Billy then, and I just kind of shrug and walk back to them and go, they were of no help. They kept saying something about a clock tower by 7. They had to get back to a clock tower by 7. I mean, we could start there and find the clock tower.
I wonder what that even means.
I don't have the faintest.
So as of where you guys are, the image you're currently looking at, hopefully, is what you are currently seeing in-game. You see these Gothic buildings down this street, and off in the distance you see the biggest building, and that's about it. You don't see anything that looks kind of like a clock tower, but then again, they all kind of look like a clock tower, so...
Is the moon also a blood red moon, or is it a normal moon shining?
What you see is what you see.
So it is a red moon. Interesting. About this time then, too, Ronan probably takes note of the light, and is just like, you ever seen a moon look like that, Alphen?
I don't believe I have.
Neither have I. This place is strange. I don't know how I like it yet. Well, Alphen, should we explore the town then? Since we have no idea where the clock tower is. But I could say, and he kind of points to the larger building that we're kind of like looking at. I would say that might be a place to stop.
Well, I say there's only one way to find it. And that's to explore the town a little bit.
Let's go then. Billy, are you with us?
Sure.
All right, stay close. I don't like the look of some of these people here, so stay close and let's go into the town. We go exploring the town some more.
As you're walking, all of the buildings look very similar together. They're all constructed of the same architectural mindset. Obviously, all have pointy roofs, all are made of stone, and every bit of light that glows in this town is an orangish red light. As you're walking around, you see numerous people, all mindlessly kind of staring at the ground, spaced out, some talking to themselves, some not, but they all just seem to be going about their business.
Do we notice if they're all going in like a general direction, or are they just all going in like different directions, but still that kind of like spaced outness?
They're going to different places, but none of them are close to get to each other. None of them really interact with each other, except for when they like get to a certain place and they pick up a package from someone or something, or they're just doing meaningless tasks. It's very limited interaction. It's more of a, they have a job to do, and that's it.
Alphen, do you find it weird that we don't really... Nobody's really... There's zombies, it seems like. Do you find that weird as well? Along with the... And he kind of holds out his hand, and Ronan's always been a little bit paler than you because he's an elf. So he's more of like a... I hate to use this as an example, but he's more of like an Irish descended skin fair, you know what I mean? Like that really pale skin. And he just kind of like holds out his arm, and he's seeing the orangey hue kind of reflect on his skin and whatnot. And he's just kind of like, I think that the light is kind of strange as well.
Yeah, it is very strange.
I don't think these people are going to be of much help to us. I think we're kind of on our own. Let's try to head towards the center of town and maybe see if we can figure something out.
Fair enough.
As you make your way to the center of town, there's a river that kind of cuts through the center, and there are numerous bridges trying to get over. It's not a big river, but it's there. Somehow they managed to put the same architectural design into the infrastructure, like the roads and the bridges and the light posts and anything in between. It's all the same. It's almost like it was designed and created by the same mind.
And I go up to one of the people as we're walking towards the center of town, and I understand they're spaced out, like they're not there fully. But can I like physically touch them without them noticing? Like can I like stop one and grab them by their arms, pick up their like head, look at them, things like that, without them like pulling away, freaking out, or things like that? Does that make sense what I want to do?
Okay. First off, I want you to roll a sleight of hand check, and then I want you to describe, following the sleight of hand check, exactly what you're going to do.
Okay. That is a 12. So what I want to do is I want to walk up to a person who's either walking or just standing there for a minute or whatnot. Preferably if they're walking, because if they're walking, it'd be kind of easier for me to notice anything. But I want to get in front of them, and I just kind of want to take their forearms. I just want to hold their forearms to hold them in place for a second. And I want to see if they notice that, like, I'm holding on to them. If they don't notice that, then I want to move my hands up to, like, their head, like if they're looking at the ground. And I want to pull their head up to actually, like, look into their eyes. And if they still don't notice anything or notice or react or anything like that, I want to take my thumbs and just ever so slightly peel back their top lip.
So as you grab this person's forearm, It's an elven woman with long, dark, silvery hair. And you grab their forearms, and she stops. That's all she does, is she stops. She stops walking. What do you want to do from here?
Probably, if she hasn't, there was no reaction, then I'd want to go up to the head, like I said, just kind of like, is she looking at the ground? Is she looking straight forward?
Yeah, she's kind of spaced out looking at the ground.
Okay, then I'd like to gently take her head and like move her head up to where I'm looking at her in the face.
Okay. As you lift her chin up and her eyes make contact with yours, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Jesus, damn. Give me a second here. Ooh, that's good. That's good. Okay, I like that. That is a nat 20 plus 5. So that's a 25, but it's a nat 20. My only nat 20 I will ever roll again for the rest of this campaign.
As you lift her head and her eyes make contact with yours, it almost appears as if she's staring right through you, staring behind you, like you don't exist. But as you look into her amber eyes, there's almost a hint of terror displayed on her face, and it's locked into that position, and she has no further reactions.
Is she still muttering something?
This is one of the elves that were not muttering.
All right, then I want to take a hand, both hands. However, because like right now I feel like I'm cupping either side of her face. Like my hands are on her cheeks, just kind of like holding her head in place. I'd like to take like one of my thumbs, both my thumbs, whatever, and I want to just peel up that top lip.
Okay. As you lift her upper lip, you see a very clean, white set of teeth, but her canines have been elongated and are pointier than usual.
With that, I'll put down her top lip, and I'll gently like let her head go back to the way that it was originally, so like slumped over looking at the ground look. You know what I mean? And I'll just take a step back, like take a step out of her way.
A few seconds go by, and she continues on her way.
I go back over to Ronan and Billy, or Alphen. I'm sorry, Alphen. I apologize. Alphen and Billy. And I crouch down to Alphen and I go, so, this is new.
What was that all about?
I'm fairly certain we're in a city of vampires.
How on earth could that be?
Well, she had fangs.
Billy pipes in. Well, that's impossible. Vampires haven't existed in thousands of years.
Well, she had fangs. I'm telling you, she did. And the stare she gave me could freeze water. Then you kind of see Ronan kind of look at the moon, and he just kind of goes, it would make sense why it's dark and the reason for the light. Billy, how sure are you that they haven't been around for thousands of years when you're only, what, 14?
Well, it's class in school. We learn about the Great War between the vampires and the humans.
Well, they must not have all been eradicated. Billy, refresh my memory. I haven't been in school for some time. The war, what sparked the war and what happened during it?
The vampires' source of food became scarce and limited, and they had to turn back to their old ways of consuming raw human and living flesh. Us as humans didn't like that so much, so we kind of killed them all.
Ronan just kind of looks at Alphen and goes, I don't think we killed them all. We best be careful here. Even though it looks like they're all pretty much zombies, they could turn in an instant. So I say we try and find whatever we're looking for and get the hell out of here as soon as possible.
It's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen a vampire.
Is there somebody walking close to me right now, like close to our little group as he says that?
I mean, if you wait around for a few seconds, there will be.
Well, then I kind of look up, wait around for a few seconds, then the next person that comes by, I just grab them, and I just kind of point to them, and I go, vampire, you've seen one now.
How do you grab them?
I just easily grab them by, like, the forearm again as they're walking by, like, not, like, firmly or, aggressively or anything. I just easily reach out and grab them by the forearm, and then just to stop them for the briefest of seconds. And then I just point and go, vampire.
As soon as your fingers touch their forearm, whatever you just grabbed onto has turned into mist.
You see Ronan just look at his hand. Is the mist like standing there? Is the mist like there?
It's dispersing into the rest of the mist that is currently covering the town.
He looks at Billy and Alpha and he just goes, "Yep, I'm creeped out."
Alphen was turned around. He didn't see you grab the person. He's like, "What vampire?"
Ronan just kind of like puts his hand through the mist and it's dispersing. He's like, "It was here. It was right here."
As you waft through the mist, roll a perception check.
That is a 16. I am doing so much better with these dice. I am happy about that.
As you're kind of feeling through the mist, it's like right here, you swear for a brief instant you felt skin, and it disappears.
I'm officially creeped out. I would like to get going. I think we should. Unfortunately, our sewer friend didn't tell us about this. Alphen, what are your thoughts?
I agree. I'm a little creeped out. I say we should keep moving along.
I don't know. I'd say we'd probably cross the river, still looking for the bigger cathedral-like mansion place that we had seen in the distance that we wanted to head towards.
Okay. As you cross the river and you continue on your way, you'll come across a shop.
Alphen, do you want to possibly see what's inside? Maybe
The name
of
on the shop in big, red, bold letters is Sprites and Spirits.
Why is everything when it concerns a vampire red?
Wonder if they sell wooden stakes in there.
You know, that would actually be funny if they did. I would buy that in a heartbeat. That would be hilarious. Billy, do you mind if we stop in here and see what they got?
Oh, not at all.
All right, gentlemen. Alphen, are you okay if we stop too? Because honestly, curiosity is getting the better.
Sure, why not? Why not?
So I'd say we'd go into certain sprites, you said, or
Sprites and Spirits.
Sprites and spirits. We'd go into sprites and spirits.
Okay. As you open the door, instead of the bell sound, you hear an orchestra, or an organ, excuse me, and it just goes da-da-da-da. And as you walk in, there is a lonely male elf standing behind the counter with the same distant look, just kind of staring at the counter.
What in the shop?
There's a lot of things. Roll a perception check.
I was about ready to ask you. Let me roll a perception check. That is a soft 20. God, I'm rolling good tonight.
Okay. As you're looking around, you see some weapons, you see some clothing items, you see a miner's pick, you see some potions, you see some robes, you see some armor, you see some scrolls, and you see a wand, a whip. Is there anything you want to focus on?
I'd probably walk over and take a look at the clothes and see what what kind of clothes they are, and focus on that for a second.
Roll a d20 and a d8.
D20 is an 8 and the D8 is a 3.
So, naturally, one of the first things that catches your attention is a miner's pick.
Of course.
And then as you're looking, you see what appears to be some kind of healing potion.
Alphen, is there anything here that catches your fancy?
I don't think so. I'll just
Browse and peruse.
looking.
I go up to the shopkeep.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Hello? Hello? Nothing.
He's just standing there, looking at the counter.
Wave my hand underneath the face to see if there's like any recognition.
Nope.
They seem a bit rude over here, don't they?
It's almost like they're in a trance. Alphen, you told me when we were in Wolfcrest, that you trusted me with your life, right?
Yeah.
If I do something stupid right now, will you still trust me?
Well, it depends, but as of now, yes.
You see Ronan kind of like fumble inside of his cloak for a minute and whatnot, and you see him just kind of pull out a very small dagger. And he looks at you, kind of waiting to see what you're going to say.
I know where this is going.
Now do you see why I ask you if you trust me? We only have one in here. It's not like the whole entire town.
Well, I'd say I trust you, so...
Here's my thinking. If he kind of like toys with the dagger on his open palm for a second. The dagger's in his right hand and his left hand has an open palm. And he's like got the blade just ever so slightly resting on his palm. And he goes, if the smell brings them out of this trance, we might be able to get some answers. Now my question is, do you agree with me or do you think it's stupid?
I see your logic. I have no problem with it.
Fair enough. Can you do me a favor?
Sure, what?
Can you have your crossbow ready, or your daggers ready, or whatever you feel comfortable with ready, just in case?
Sure.
And then he looks over. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying Alphen draws his arrow and has it at the ready.
And then he looks at Billy and he goes, I would get that axe ready just in case as well, too.
You got it.
I'm going to lightly slide the blade over my hand, causing myself to bleed.
As the blood trickles down your fingers and onto the floor, nothing happened.
I look over to Alphen, who I'm guessing is probably right next to me, right, Alphen?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm kind of holding my hand still close to me. Should I put it in front of him?
Yeah. Maybe he can't smell it.
So I reach out and I allow my blood to kind of like trickle onto the countertop, like right below his face.
Nothing happens.
Look back at Alf, look over at Alf, and then I'm like, well, I thought maybe it was worth a try.
Maybe you're right. They are in some type of trance.
Or maybe I'm wrong completely, and maybe they're not vampires. It's just they have very pointy teeth. Kind of stands there for one more minute, just kind of, again, just waiting for some kind of confirmation. Then he looks down at Alf and again, just kind of shrugs and goes, well, we're not, I mean, we grew up stealing things, but do you really want to steal something from here?
I don't know.
I know, it's very tempting. If the shopkeep isn't going to be responsive, it's very tempting.
What is both of your passive perceptions?
Germ?
14. Oh, wait. Yeah, 14.
Mine is a 15.
Okay. As you are talking about stealing something, something catches both of the corner of your eye. There's a longsword mounted on the wall. That is no ordinary longsword.
Can I roll a perception check to get a good look at it to see what it is?
I'm not even going to require that. Do you walk up to look at it?
I do.
Okay. As you walk up close to it, written on the hilt of the sword is just stamped into the metal, Defender Longsword.
Can't use it though. Ronan looks at Alphen. I've heard of these.
What do you know about it?
Do you want me to roll a history check?
You don't need to.
Okay, fair enough. This is a very well-crafted sword. Sometimes they're blessed by priests and whatnot to help with the undead. Other times they are able to have elemental properties with them. This is a very, very beautiful weapon and can actually, and I kind of give him a mischievous grin and I go, fetch a high sum of money if to be sold.
Are you proposing to...
I don't know. I'm not proposing anything, dear brother, and he winks at you.
Okay. Maybe we'll just borrow it for a little bit.
That's what I was thinking. We'll just borrow it.
Alphen
Ronan
gets closer to it, kind of takes it off the wall. Just at it.
As are you reaching out to touch it?
Yeah.
Okay. As you reach out to touch it, in the very back of your head, you hear a deep guttural 2,410 gold pieces, and you feel breath on the back of your neck. Ronan, as you're watching Alphen approach, as you blink, the shopkeeper is but an inch away from the back of Alphen.
Ronan literally jumps sideways and it's just like,
Ronan, I don't think we should borrow the store.
Ronan just ever so slightly walks back over to you and just takes your hand and just pulls it down.
I say we leave.
I think that would be, I think that yes, let's go.
I suddenly don't feel like buying anything.
Do I? As they're walking out, he grabs Billy by the shirt and he goes, you're coming with us.
As you're walking out, hurriedly, you both notice an amulet on a little stand right next to the door with a tag in front of it that just says free.
I'm going to turn around and look at the shopkeep. Is he still standing in the same position?
He has not moved from where he was behind Alphen.
Breathing down.
His back is still to us then, I would guess, because he's probably facing a wall.
Yeah, kinda.
Okay. I stop Alphen for a second and I just kind of look at him and I go, do you think it's really free?
You go first.
He looks back at you and he reaches into his coin purse and he goes, heads I take it, tails I don't. And he flips the coin. Shit, that's heads. So, right before his fingers touch it, he's millimeters away from grabbing this thing, he looks at you and he goes, could it be cursed?
Could be why it's free. Nice knowing you, brother.
His hand is hovering over it. You know what? I think I'm good. I think I'm... Billy, do you wanna try taking it?
Sure. He walks up to the case, opens the case, reaches out to touch the amulet, touches the amulet,
picks up the amulet. I got it!
I guess it wasn't cursed. Alright, fair enough. Then, if you want to keep it, since you're the one who took it, you can keep it until we get it identified.
Well, here's the problem.
Okay.
Haven't learned to attune things yet, and this thing seems magical.
Fair enough. Well, here, I'll take it.
Okay. And hands it over to you.
I appreciate it, though, Billy. Thank you. Thank you.
Look, you're welcome.
I take it from Billy. Does anything happen the moment I touch it?
No.
Does anything happen when I put it around my neck?
It's a little chilly, but yeah.
Okay, what's the amulet look like?
It's a golden amulet with a red stone in the middle of it, and that's about it. It's pretty simple, but
A ruby, a garnet, just no.
it's probably a ruby, but it's kind of like behind a little bit of a glass thing. But you being a magic user, you can feel that it has some kind of magical properties to it, and you're not sure what, but it's definitely not just a regular amulet.
Fair enough. I look at Alphen and I just kind of go, I can feel, like Billy said, there's some magical thing to it, but I don't, until we identify it, I don't know what it's going to do, but it's not, doesn't feel cursed, and I don't feel any difference, so...
I guess we like freebies, don't we? We'll take it.
I mean, we've never turned a freebie down.
Wonder if it's worth anything.
Maybe. Free beer, free food, free cot, free beer. Well, I say we continue on our journey then and see if we can find wherever we need to find whoever we need to find.
Okay.
Do I remember who Death said was the name of the guy? That's like
You do not.
Poncho here. Okay, fair. Can I roll a history check to see if I...
No, you cannot, because the DM himself does not remember.
Fair enough.
Mm.
I would say we'd probably cross the river and head to that large house, because I'm guessing that's the big cathedral-looking one that we saw from the distance. This one, right here.
But there's, a citadel over. Okay, fine.
Oh, I didn't know which way we were looking here, okay? All right, fine, then we'll make our way along, because I thought that was the big... But okay, we'll head to the citadel. Okay, I'm sorry. My bad.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You want to go over here? We go over here.
No, we're going over here. We're going this way. We're going this way.
Well, joke's on you. Your funeral's either way.
Right on. Then we make our way over to the citadel, then. We follow the river and make our way over to the citadel.
As you approach this massive stone building, there's half walls surrounding the entire thing, and there's statues lining a walkway up to the front door, and they all depict an elf holding a long sword, standing at a warrior's pose.
Sword clasped in between the hands, blade pointing down, like that kind of warrior's pose.
Yep.
How tall are these?
6 on each side, and they're all 12 feet tall.
Do they have any engravings on them or anything like that, or is it just a stone statue?
It's a stone statue. The armor itself is detailed, the sword is detailed, facial features are detailed, but there's no writing or engravings or insignias to really give them away.
Who do you think these were, Alphen?
Do I need a history check or anything?
You know what? Go ahead and roll me a history check.
12.
You think about these statues, and for a flicker of a second, you recall seeing them again in your childhood. And then the memory's gone.
Now that I think about it, I remember something vaguely from my childhood. Can't quite put my finger on it, though.
Your childhood and my childhood were the same childhood, so...
Fair enough.
You remember seeing them, I don't. But then again, you always have been more observant out of the two of us. Where do you remember seeing these?
It's just so foggy. I don't remember that. I just vaguely remember seeing these.
I don't know. Kind of ominous. With how quiet everything is and just these looming over us. Kind of ominous.
Very, very ominous.
Another thing to take note, too, that throughout the city there have been people walking around. Nobody has stepped foot in this courtroom, or this walkway.
Well, should we go in?
Sure. Yeah, let's go in. Sorry, I had to think about it for a minute.
Nope, you're perfectly fine. Understandable, because I'm thinking about it as well. I'm still a little bit creeped out just as much as you are. So I understand the hesitation and you thinking.
After you, good brother.
I appreciate it. Again, you're always the one who somehow keeps us out of trouble sometimes when you think. So I feel like I'm the one who gets us into trouble, and you're the one who somehow gets us out.
Well, you said it, not me.
Billy, take notes. Listen to Alphen here. Don't listen to me. And he just steps over, like, the threshold into the courtyard.
Okay. As you're walking, Alphen, I'm assuming you're right behind him.
Yes.
Okay. As you approach the main building and you get closer and closer with every step, Alphen, a sense of deja vu creeps over you, and it gets stronger the closer you get to the building. As you approach...
Ronan. Oh, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
no, go ahead. Large double doorway, ironclad, that leads into the building itself. Nothing else really stands out to you, but Alphen, as you approach the door, a flashback happens for you, and you see the doors wide open, and you're a child, and you're running around and playing with a few other kids, and you see a woman off in the distance, and then you're back to reality again.
Do I notice that he's kind of gone a little bit, like, dazed as he remembers this?
Probably knocks you in front of him.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't know if maybe I'd look back to make sure where he was or anything like that, so okay. But I just keep going then.
Hey, Ronan.
Yeah?
Do you remember us being at any other orphanage besides the one we remember so well?
I mean, we bounced around from orphanage to orphanage, you and I. That's why we became so close. We hit at least 4 different orphanages in our time before we ran away when we were, 13, 14?
I just had another memory of us, or of kids playing out here. It just seems like possibly we were in this area.
Like this exact area?
No, I just had this weird memory about this exact location. It was still very vague, but I don't know.
With him saying that, would I be able to recall any memories?
You can roll a history check.
That is an 18.
With an 18, you try to think to your past, and you think of the statues, you think of the courtyard, you think of the building itself, you think of the town, but nothing comes to you. This is all foreign and new to you.
Fair enough. Well, I'd look down at Alphen then, and I'd be like, well, could it be possibly one of the previous lives that you had maybe coming out in visions? Because we both got visions from our friend in the sewer of many, many, many lifetimes that we supposedly have lived.
You know what? It must be either my mind playing tricks on me, or I don't know. It's hard to keep track of what's going on anymore.
Fair enough. When you are getting up there in your age.
Very true.
But no,
For you too. Once you're up to the doors, at any point in time, did either of you look back to the entrance of the courtyard?
I mean, as I turned around to talk to Alphen, I probably would have looked back that way at one point in time.
Okay, then make a quick perception check for me.
That's a 6. Or, I'm sorry, a 7. My bad. A 7.
Well, not hard to miss.
Okay.
As you look back and you see over the top of Alphen's head, the townsfolk are watching you, and they're beginning to gather at the end of the courtyard.
I would just take Alphen, and I would kind of gently spin him around.
Alphen, as you turn around, you see a dozen, and then more piling in, of red glowing eyes, golden eyes, dark eyes, locked on to 3 of you, just watching.
I think we have an audience.
My God.
They don't seem to step past the threshold. I'm uneasy.
That makes 2 of us.
Well, knowing this, we might want to be on our guard. Billy, why don't you stay between me and Alphen?
What do you mean?
Stay in between us. Like, if we're walking in a single file line, it's me, you, Alphen, or Alphen, you, me. Or if
Okay.
we're walking side by side, it's me, you, Alphen, so on and so forth. Just stay between us, alright?
Alphen, you go with this? Because apparently I'm not supposed to listen to Ronan.
Yes, Billy, you should listen to Ronan.
Okay.
He looks at you and he goes, I knew that was going to bite me in the ass. I knew it was going to. Well, brother, there's one of 2 ways. We walk into, and you see him look back towards the townsfolk and just goes, that. Or we go into the citadel, or do I know it's a citadel? Do I know it's like the massive, like...
Yeah, it's basically constructed like one.
Okay. I'd be like, we can either go back through that, or we go into the citadel.
I don't know if I want to go back to that. I'm a little creeped out, so...
You're not the only one.
Although the
This,
citadel looks a little creepy as well.
I think we're in between a rock and a hard place, Cohen.
I'm between an elf and a gnome. Or a dwarf. Whatever you are.
Leave it to the kid to break the tension. All right, let's go to the Citadel.
You are at the gigantic 15-foot double doors. What do you do?
I knock.
All right, so it has a very large knocker. Do you use that?
Yeah, I would. I would use that.
Okay. With every knock you make, it's like a town bell going off. And to add to the eeriness, it echoes through the halls of the citadel and spreads down to the courtyard and then through the city. And then the city bounces it back to you.
Once I get done knocking, very quietly, Alphen can probably hear it though. Ronan just goes, I don't want to turn around. I don't want to look. I don't want to turn around. I don't want to look. What happens after he knocks?
Nothing happens.
He'll wait a couple seconds to see if anything happens, and if nothing happens, then after that couple seconds, he'll give the door a little push.
Okay. Please hold for a moment.
And do. Alphen, I'm very fearful that we're walking to our death.
Well, you can't say it's the first time this happened.
No, but I've got one of those weird gut feelings that we're walking to our death. Because all of this is very, very strange.
Why are you not working?
I don't know. You know what this place kind of reminds me of, Alphen?
What's that?
That third orphanage we were at, where everything was very dark, and it was in the rundown, like, church building. Do you remember that orphanage?
You know, maybe that's where I'm getting my memories from. But yeah,
Maybe.
yeah.
It's a possibility. Do you remember our caretaker, Mrs. Cromwell?
Yes.
Nasty old bag. I hated her. But then again, I was the one getting in trouble most of the time. So, I mean, it would make sense as why I hated her after she would discipline me.
Well, as a result of you getting in trouble, I was also in trouble.
Yes, I know. I think that's also what made our bond even stronger, was that somehow we dragged each other into things.
Mainly you dragging me into things, but yes.
Listen, it was fun, okay? It was a lot of fun. Plus, weren't the sweets nice that we stole from the storage area?
Ooh, and that her diary was very juicy, wasn't it?
It was. That high priest that she had the thing for.
Hmm.
Go ahead.
Now finish your story.
No, that was it. That was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, as you open the doors, you're greeted with this interior.
There are rugs on the stairs.
I mean, that's a gods, what's the word I'm looking for? That's a fancy royalty thing. Usually though, it's like with the stairs, so you see like it tacked into each stair, not just
Right.
You know. It doesn't look like slide.
Not nitpicking. I'm just saying.
And as you open and walk in, you felt eerie outside. It's multiplied tenfold as you step in.
Like hair on the back of my neck, standing on end, playing of I have to leave kind of thing.
Yep.
Alphen, do you feel this way too?
Very uneasy?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Glad I'm not. Billy, how are you feeling?
I'm hungry.
Not much bothers him, does it?
Not really, no. Not much bother. If I had some rations to give you, I would, Billy. I apologize.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm sure this dusty old house has something.
I want to walk over to like the first table, whatever, wherever it is or whatnot, and I want to just. Is it lit up or is it dark? Because I understand you said this is what I see, but are the candles actually lit or are they like
The candles are lit. However,
Okay.
everything has a thick film of dust.
That's what I was gonna look at. Okay, that's where my question was going. Well, it doesn't look like anybody's done any. And he kind of like rubs his finger across one of the tables and just goes, "Cleaning in a while." Excuse me. I just kind of cut my hand over my mouth for a minute, like in a, you know how when you go to yell louder, you know, that way that you cup your hands over your head, you know.
Yeah.
And I just kind of go, "Hello."
Your voice echoes throughout the entire building. You felt like it was empty before, and it sounds empty now.
Well, Alphen, Billy, somebody had to light the lights, right?
Unless they're magical lights.
You know, I'm starting to get really annoyed with this kid. Fair enough, Billy, fair enough. Well, Alphen, what do you think? Do we think we follow the door in front of us, or do we go up the stairs to the second floor?
I say we go up the stairs with the very loose carpet on it.
Fair
Very
enough.
loose.
Don't trip. Don't trip.
Are you going up
All right,
the left
go-
or the right side?
I don't think it matters.
Left side.
Left side? Okay. As you get to the base of the left staircase, I want you both to roll a perception check.
Should have picked right.
Should have picked the right. That's a 9.
20. 30, 20.
Damn! Alpha, in the film of Dust, you see a singular set of footprints heading up.
Is that it? Ronan, do you see these footprints?
Once he points them out, do I notice them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. If I kneel down... No, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, what do you think that's about?
I don't know. If I kneel down to, like, examine them, can I, like, use a survival check or something to see if I can figure out how long it's been since they've, like, somebody passed through here?
Survival or nature, your choice.
Fair enough. Survival's a +3, nature's a +4. We're gonna go with nature. That's a 14.
What you notice is it's multiple times in the exact same spot. The layers of dust have been stepped on time and time again. No footsteps coming down. They're all going up in the same spot.
I want to go over to the right side. To the right side of them coming down.
Right side has no footprints on the staircase.
All right, Alpin, something's wrong. These footprints have gone up this way multiple times, and there's nothing coming down the right set of stairs. So either there's another way down somewhere upstairs, or whatever has gone up these stairs multiple times is either still upstairs, or I have no idea.
Are you saying you want to turn around?
My curiosity wants us to keep going. The back of my neck and my gut are screaming for us to leave as soon as possible. My being is telling me we have to get out of this town. Are the footprints about the same size as my boot?
They're bigger.
They're bigger? Okay.
If you were to estimate, they would be a modern day size 15.
Holy shit, that's big. I'm gonna go up the stairs.
As you go up the stairs, the hallway continues down to the left, and there's a few doorways that way. There's also a doorway straight ahead of you, and the door's open, and it appears to be a library.
Is there anything to the right, or is it just a wall?
It's just a wall.
I want to peek my head in the library just to kind of get an idea of what the library is. I don't want to necessarily step into the library.
It's a massive library. Think of like...
Beauty and the Beast library?
Yeah, let's go with it. A Beauty and the Beast library, but dusty and dark. There's a few candles lit around, and there's one table in the center that has a handful of papers on it.
Okay, Alpin, did you come up the stairs with me? Or are you still
I did.
on the stairs? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Alpin, do we want to check out the library, or do you want to go see what some of these doors look like?
Yeah, I say we go and check out this library. See if there's any cool books.
Fair enough. We step in to check the library.
As you step into the library, is there anything you guys want to look at? Do you just want to look through the bookshelves, look at the table of papers?
I would probably look at the table of papers. That's the first place I'd go to. Would probably be the table of papers. If there's if I needed more light source, I would probably produce flame in my hand to give me some more light.
Okay. You go into the table too, Elfin?
Alphin's gonna kind of look through the bookshelves.
Okay. We'll start with the bookshelves.
Yeah.
As you're looking at the books on the bookshelves, it's a wide variety of high-level math, sciences, magic, construction, and then there's also a section of books that are related to folklores, and then there's a bookshelf that is filled with books specifically for vampires. Ronan, as you approach the table and you kind of look over the papers that are spread across it with your light, it's construction plans and a diagram of Wolfcrest, building notes, construction notes, estimated delivery dates for materials, and then there's a slip of paper on it that says estimated town completion in the year of 2722.
Alphin, come take a look at this.
What, did you find something?
Yeah, it's about Wolfcrest. Once he gets over, I'll start kind of like showing him the papers and everything like that, and I'll hand him the slip that says town completion, 2722. And I'll be like, this is odd, don't you think?
This is very interesting, isn't it?
It's almost like whoever lives here or resides here planned on building Wolfcrest. Do we know what the year is right now?
That's a loaded question.
Can I roll a history check to see if I remember what year it is right now?
Sure.
That's a soft 20.
With your experience, you're supposed to be in the year 2819.
That was 2702.
The town completion estimated date is 2722.
So, supposedly, Wolfcrest got completed 96 years ago.
Also, I forgot to mention this. As you're looking at the Wolfcrest diagram, the southern slums and the outer wall is not part of the plan.
I would probably point that out to Alphen then. I'd be like, did you notice there's no outer wall and there's no slums?
Yes, you're right. Didn't even notice that.
So I wonder if the town was originally built under the idea of being a respectable place, not saying it's not now, but more respectable than what it is.
Ronan.
Yeah.
Roll a history check for me.
Another one?
Yeah. As you're talking about the outer wall and the southern slums and the respectable and whatnot, a conversation pops into your head. You remember talking to the city guards. Excuse me, no, you were talking to Alphen, and you recall that conversation of the mayor of Wolfcrest constructed the southern wall and the southern slums to keep the criminals out of the city.
Right. Brother, remember that the mayor constructed that to keep the criminals out of the city.
I don't remember that, but I believe you.
I remember us talking about it, and we had found out information that he had constructed the southern wall in the slums to keep the criminals in the slums. So now that we're seeing this, I'm kind of curious now as to what Wolfcrest was originally supposed to be.
Now, keep in mind, this is all information you're gathering from just the surface level. You can sift through the papers with an investigation check to see if you find anything out.
I will do that, because I am interested.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an investigation check then.
That is another soft 20.
You dig through, and there's a larger map of the area, not just the city landscape, but the area. And it depicts DaggerRise being deconstructed and the materials being transported 5 miles up the river to make Wolfcrest.
They were going to move the whole city, but why?
And then you also get another diagram, construction plans and blueprints of DaggerRise, and then what was the original DaggerRise city actually becomes... I need to pull
That's fine. We can wait.
this. DaggerRise makes up the construction of Silkgate and Market Town. Like, if you're looking at a map, Silkgate and Market Town is DaggerRise, and then the rest of Wolfcrest was built around it.
What are your thoughts on this, brother?
I'm not quite sure what to make of it.
Neither am I, because it feels like they wanted to move the whole city.
We're still not sure why.
Is there anything else that I can find, or is that like the last of the papers?
There's more shipping materials coming in, whatnot. The main thing that stands out to you is the date stamped on a majority of these papers, stamped with the year 2574.
Alphen, did you notice the date on these? That's ages ago.
574.
Because if I'm correct, we're in 2812 currently. That's ages ago.
Must be some old papers.
They have to be. I put the papers down. I go take a quick kind of glance around the rest of the library really quickly. Is there anything in the library that would also go along with the papers that I found?
Construction stuff, you would assume it's because of what they were planning. One thing to note is there's not a single book on any of these shelves with a date past 2574.
So like there's no books prior to that or post that?
The newest date on any of the books is 2574.
Okay, so there's nothing past that. Did you happen to notice that none of these books go past 2574?
I do see that now.
It's kind of like we're stuck in time, right? Like a bubble. I say we go look around the Citadel a little bit more. Let's go down the hallway and see where some of these doors lead to.
Okay.
I turn around. Is Billy still within the vicinity of us?
Yeah, he's just kind of hanging around. Books aren't his thing.
Fair enough. I wanted to make sure he was still around us, you know what I mean?
Yeah. As you exit into the hallway and you go down the hallway, there are 4 doors. 2 on the right-hand side, 1 on the left, and 1 at the end of the hallway.
Before we do any of that, I turn to Billy. Billy, how old are you?
14.
How long were you? You were in Wolfcrest all of your life, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember being a child? I mean, you're a child, but do you remember being a smaller child?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Anything that happened during your childhood? Anything massive? Anything big? Any events, big events during your childhood?
There was that one time when I was like 6 that goblins tried to attack us, but it didn't go well for them.
So for your whole life, the city's always been there.
As far as I know, yeah. It's where I've been living.
Okay, Alpin, what door do you want us to go into?
Guess we'll pick this one right here to the left. I forget which directions he said.
2 to the right, 1 to the left, 1 in the front.
So I get
So
the front one.
Okay, the front one.
As you open the front door, it looks like a workshop, almost. There's different things being worked on, and interestingly, it looks like armor. And they were trying to come up with a prototype armor.
What kind of prototype armor?
Roll a history check.
Better things I'm good at. That's 15.
You see bits and pieces of a suit of armor on this mannequin, and you're looking at it, and you squint a little bit, and it hits you in a crude, very crude way. It's the Wolfcrest Guards armor.
Like it's a first iteration of the Wolf's Crest guards armor.
It's not even complete yet. It's missing a shoulder piece, legs aren't even done yet, but the chest piece is a rough outline of what you remember the Wolfcrest Guards wearing.
Does that look familiar to you, brother?
The wolf crest armor?
That's what I was thinking too. Curiouser and curious. There's more questions than we have answers to. Is there anything else in this room?
No, it's a workshop full of testing and building different armaments.
Okay. Then I would probably go to the door across from that if there is one.
And you guys chose the door straight ahead?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
straight ahead, yeah.
Yeah. So you have
Yeah.
the door on the left and then 2 on the right.
I'm probably going to go to the door on the left then.
You open the door to the left, and you see a table. It's almost like a conference room setup, but in a dark Gothic way. And then on the table is a model, like one of those little
I know what you're talking about. The city
engineers make them to show off what they're going to do. And it's a 3D miniature model of the first edition of Wolfcrest.
Have you followed me, Alphin, or were you still looking at the armor?
I follow.
Okay. Then I would step inside and whatnot, and I'd look at you and I'd be like, this is interesting.
Billy looks at it, and he's just kind of looking around. He's like, "There's my house.
Yeah, your house has been there for a while?
That's my house. That's the one I live in." And he points to just an ordinary-looking building in the Silk Gate.
Well, we know that your house has been there since the beginning then, at least. Billy, out of curiosity, in school, what year have they taught you it is in school?
I think it's 2812.
Okay. I apologize for all the questions, Billy. Just trying to get to know our travel companion. I just look at Alphin, and you get that idea while I'm looking at you. It's kind of like a what the fuck's going on kind of look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The other doors on the right then?
Sure. Let's do it.
We go to the first door on the right.
You open the first door on the right, and this one appears to be just a storage room of odds and ends, nothing of value, mostly like household supply, candlesticks, linens. Yeah, that's what you find.
Okay, then we probably go to the second door on the right then.
Okay. You open that door, and it's another hallway. It goes down a little bit, and then there's 3 doors, one on the left, one in the front, and one on the right.
Look at Alphin and go, are we going down?
I suppose we have to.
I would probably choose the one on the left once we go through that door, and that'd be the first door that I look into.
Okay. You open the door to the left, and what's inside appears to be a bedroom fit for a king.
Does it look like there's anybody in the bed?
There's a thick layer of dust on everything.
I want to go in and examine the room.
Okay.
Look through wardrobes, look around the bed, look under the bed. If there's any nightstands or like desks or anything, I want to look through the desks and stuff like that.
Okay. There's a large armoire off to the left wall. There's a vanity in the front of the room. The master king bedroom, or bed, is in the center of the room in the back wall. and then there's a large mirrored dresser off to the right. And then right next to the large dresser is a small desk.
I'll start with the armoire, and I'll just circle the room looking through everything.
You open the armoire, and these are the finest robes and clothes you've ever seen in your life. However, they all follow the same design and color scheme of black, gothic black, with some kind of red detailing on the sleeves, on the buttons, somewhere to kind of break up the blackness.
I want to touch one of them.
Okay. As
Does
you
anything happen when I...
Go ahead.
No. That's exactly what I was going to ask. If anything happened when I touched it, and you were saying as I touch it.
As you touch it, a thick layer of dust falls off of it, and you're taken aback a little bit by the feel of the fabric. It's not soft like you would expect a royal cloth to be. It's more coarse and almost leathery.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'd call Alphen over to look at it as well and be like, what do you make of this?
Alphen, as you look at them, these would be suitable clothing armor options for rogues.
Ooh, look at you. You might have some new clothes.
Ooh.
Would I know that as well by looking at them, or would I have to wait to see if he relayed that to me?
You would not notice.
Okay, fair enough. Just curious. What do you make of this? Like, this is something I've never seen before.
Can't say I've seen anything like this either, but boy, would it look good on me.
I don't know. I mean, you want to try it? I honestly don't. As he looks around the room, kind of left and right, I really don't think anybody's living here. Do you try them on?
Or they look gently used, about my size.
That's what I was thinking, oddly enough. We're gonna guess Alphen probably tries on a shirt or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Alphen tries on the shirt.
As you try on one of the articles of clothing, Ronan, you're not sure where Alphen went.
Brother,
Alphen, for you, nothing's changed.
brother, where'd you go?
I'm standing right here.
Can I hear him when he says that?
Mm-hmm.
So I put out my hand and, like, can I feel him?
Sure.
By the gods, you've gone invisible.
This thing is awesome.
Is there another one in there? Like, is there another one that looks like it would fit me for me to try on?
You can certainly try.
All right, I want to try on one. I understand that, I'm not roguish, but I want to try one.
Okay. As soon as you clasp the buttons, it's starting to get hot, and then hotter and hotter, and now it feels like your skin's starting to burn.
Rip off the jacket, and I'm just like, hells, that's hot. Is yours not hot, Alphen?
No, it's quite comfy actually.
Weird. Well, I mean, it turns you invisible. Do you think you can turn back while wearing it still? Can you, like, force yourself to turn visible again?
Alphen takes off the shirt.
Alphen appears in front of you, Ronan.
That would be quite useful to have. I'm wondering if you should hold on.
Heck yeah, I'm holding on to it.
Ronan just chuckles and he moves on from the armoire because obviously there's not much left to it, to the what'd you say, a vanity? To the vanity that's next to the armoire.
On the vanity is a variety of different makeups, but they're all gray, pale, black, red. There is one vial that stands out from the rest, even though it is still red. It's more liquidy.
Alpha, do you want a makeover to go with your new clothes?
Just kind of chuckles.
I want to take the liquidy one and I want to kind of just slosh it back and forth. Is there like anything that comes to mind while I'm doing this?
I mean, your first impressions as it's sloshing around in the vial, it kind of looks like blood.
Is there like a cork on it, or like a top, or like a screw top or something on it?
Let's make it a cork.
Okay. So he pops the cork off and he just kind of takes a quick whiff of it. What's it smell like?
It smells irony and strangely sweet.
Alphen, come take a smell of this. What's it make you think of?
Smells very sweet. Hint of iron.
Alphen, because of your background, the first thing you think of is copper.
I think of copper. That's what it smells like.
Interesting. I was thinking more about the mist outside. It had that same irony sweet smell to it, but I didn't think about copper.
Very copper. Trust me, I would know.
I know you would know. I would not put that past you. He puts the cork back in it and sets it back down. And he goes over to the bed, just, like, checks out the bed, looks underneath of it, like looks on the. I'm guessing it's a 4-poster bed.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of looks at all the posters and seeing like the not the posters, the banister thingies, and seeing if there's any like secret compartments or anything like that. Because that's the main thing he's been looking for the whole entire time is like secret compartments worth of shit or like secret books or things like that.
Very comfortable bed.
Fair enough. Well, I don't think there's anything really else in here. I can't seem to find anything that I was looking for, so carry on.
Carry on. I got a cool shirt out of it.
Hey, there you go. That works. Probably go to the right door across the hall.
Okay. This one's a closet. I mean, you see cleaning supplies in it, mops, buckets. Yeah, not much of interest there.
Then we probably go to the last door then at the end of the hallway.
Okay. As you open this door, it opens up into a wide and large room. And on the far end of the room, about 60 feet away, there appears to be a throne. And on that throne, there appears to be a body. And in this room, there are 3 statues, just like the ones outside, on the left and on the right. And that is where we're going to end tonight.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
That is all we have for you today. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you for your time. And please, if you wouldn't mind, spread the word about us. You know, if you have any friends that are kind of into D&D, let them know about our podcast. We are just a group of friends that are playing D&D and trying to have fun. If any of you would like to be a part of our campaign, by all means, reach out to us directly or through the comments, and we'll get back to you and try to get that set up. If you want to join our Discord channel that we just opened up, that would be awesome. And if you haven't already, you can always search us up on YouTube or Spotify, depending on whatever you're finding this podcast on, and listen to us that way as well. That being said, I think that's it for today. So we love you all, and hopefully Friday comes soon.